And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. The Miami Dolphins make it 3 in a row. They survive the New Orleans Saints in Miami 21-17, moving to 5-7. And I know my son is dying for them to win that 6 game so he could continue to say 6-7. I'm like, oh gosh. But anyway, the Dolphins do move up to 5-7 on the season after winning the 3rd game in a row, another 3-game winning streak, 21-17. I welcome the pre-game, post-game crew on here on FTSN with Finn Sammy and Finn Stanza. Both were on the Finn's Faithful podcast immediately after the game. Shout out to George and Jason Sarney and Frank the Tank and Curtis and company that were on the show. I didn't do that. I had to take care of some stuff, and I had to get this show ready. So this is my first time discussing it. But there it is. Lo and behold, 21-17. Just run down these very quick. The projections, the scores that we had here for the pregame with our predictions. We all had Miami winning this game. Let me just make sure. I think we all did. We did. I had it 20-14. Sammy 27-17. Evan 24-6. Tristan 24-3. Frankie 21-17. So shout out to Frankie for right on the money. 12-6 was Greg, and Scotty 17-14. So we were all right on our predictions. Pretty close on the scores.
Yes.
I will say, minus, where Fitzdanger was like, I don't want to see it. I don't want to see that offense score that many points, but pretty close. I think, it is. I saw, first off, shout out to all those just tuning in, joining us. Daniel came on beforehand. He is not watching any of the shows. He doesn't want to see any of the doom and gloom. He says, Bobby, there's something wrong with this fan base. They win today, and it's all gloom and doom. Meanwhile, the Jets, who are 3-10, win today, and there's nothing but positive vibes. I do not get this fan base. I won't be listening tonight because I'm not interested in gloom and doom session, but had to check in with my viewpoint. I would love to hear your thoughts. Tammy from Miami, El Madre. McDaniel got 3 wins. It's messy, but we will win. What a roo-poo. Okay, she's having fun. Try to translate that. Love you, Mom. But no doom and gloom tonight, she says. Evan, please lead us in song as we celebrate this streak. Oh, don't they know you? But anyway, we all predicted a win. Our scores were pretty close, but we have plenty to talk about with the way the Dolphins won this game. Yes, the Miami Dolphins won. Yes, you should be happy with a win, but no. You should not be satisfied with the way they done it because Miami can't just win today and the season is over to get to the playoffs. They have to continue this for so many odd weeks. And by today's performance, if they take that to the Jets or to so forth, they're going to get embarrassed or just eliminated. So I don't want to say it's doom and gloom. I'll just say you could celebrate the win. I'm happy. A win's a win. That's how the way I said earlier. But still, my goodness, did they almost give that game away? Before I get to Dr. Evil on the left-hand side of me, who looks like he's ready to just break hearts and tear spirits, I'm going to go to Sammy. Sammy, first off, how was your Sunday? What did you think of the game?
I'll be honest. It's a different feeling right now because I was watching that game kind of numb, like no overexcited, no over defeated. It's like I'm watching, expecting the worst. They're still winning. They're still giving a shout out, but I'm feel like, I don't feel confidence, nonetheless. But once the second half started, it's like, okay, here comes Matt Daniels' team because they don't make adjustments and the other teams always do. So the other teams start rolling. I usually would have been mad. I usually would have been frustrated, but I felt kind of confident that they were gonna find a win. It's kind of weird because this team is so weird. If Tua had a good game today, the Dolphins would have won easily. But Tua had an horrendous game, one of the worst games. As long accuracy, not so much decision making, accuracy, because Tua, his decision making is iffy sometimes, but his accuracy is usually pretty okay. But today, accuracy was way off. So, Devon Achane again. What can we say? He's the he's the Dolphins MVP. If the Dolphins didn't have Devon Achane, probably would not have maybe a win or two less, if not maybe more. So I don't know. I said it. I said it once. I said it so many times before. It's not if they win or lose going into next year. It's how they win or lose. If McDaniel keeps making the same mistakes, the same run decisions, and the game plan, and going away from the run, and it happened today again. So the Dolphins won, but Mike McDaniel keep making the same mistakes. So everybody's in the background saying, "No, they cannot win because they want Mike McDaniel fired." Is substance for me. Mike Daniel had a horrendous game today with the decisions he make, and Tua had a horrendous game with the accuracy. So it's a win, but it doesn't feel like a win.
It is a win, but it does not feel like a win. Wow, there you go. So there's the first point right there. And then let's see, we're at 622. Okay. Finn Stanza, my brother.
There we go.
Hey, man. So Miami, they do their job. They get the win. They beat a team they're supposed to beat. I just want to say I understand where Daniel's coming from. Hey, if you take it week to week, yes, you should be absolutely happy and satisfied the Miami Dolphins found a way to win. You should be absolutely satisfied that the Dolphins are still in the hunt. 100%. And I again, to each their own, but I will say, and I defend that because that's your opinion. I get it. If you take it week to week, you should be happy there's a win, and I'm happy we won. It was good to see. Man, Devon Achane broke 1,000 yards today. He is the MVP. Minka Fitzpatrick came in clutch. There's a lot to like with some of the in some certain spots with the team, and there's a lot not to like. The more I watch Tua quickly, the more I saw Tua today is the more I was like, man, this is not the same guy. This is not the same quarterback. This is again, I used to say, man, he could be great. He could be good. He could have a bad game, but he is who he is. But no, he is not who he is. He's below what he is. This guy should be he's an NFL backup playing a starting job. And I understand the logic of what Daniel's saying. I appreciate Daniel. I wish he was here to communicate via the comments and argue with us and have a good time. But I get it. Save your sanity, brother. But I will say, some of us are not about, take it week to week, just enjoy the one win. Because we're not just thinking about this week. We're thinking about what happens next week and what happens the week following and what happens to when we if Miami does have a shot at the playoffs, how today's hiccups could screw us up later. So I understand Sammy's point to start it off. I am pretty sure I'm going to understand Finstanza's point, even though I'm sure he'll open some can of worms somewhere where I'm going to go, wait a second. But until we get there, it is a win, but does it truly feel like a win? No. Sammy's on point. We're going to get into it. Bear with us. Finstanza, the mic is yours.
I just want to comment on Daniel's comment, which, Daniel, I wish you were here tonight so we can have a great conversation. The reason why the Jets are happy with their 3-10 and why they're in a good mood is because they are already playing for next year. They have 5 first-round picks over the next couple of years. They're going to be going to pick another quarterback. So anything that they do now is a joy for them because they've already traded away Sauce Gardner, Quinn, and Williams. Going into today's football game, the Miami Dolphins were the healthiest. Let me repeat this: the healthiest they have been since game 1 of the season. They had Darren Waller, they had Austin Jackson, they had Russell Douglas. They had every single weapon, including Jalen Wright, Ollie Gordon. Every weapon at the disposal on the offensive side of the ball, and the only minus James Daniels, who was not there after 3 plays. The defense had all their players. Everything was set up for them to go in and play an excellent football game. The football game started off well. Why? Because Devon Achane allowed it to start off well. The moment Tua got involved in this football game and actually became a factor in this football game, the thing went off the rails. They had to settle for field goals. They get a key turnover from Russell Douglas, and on that first play, execution for our noodle arm Tua throws the ball down the field where you could see that there's a safety there. The coverage is not going to be there. Mike McDaniel, poor play calling. The key problem in today's game was the execution on the players, the poor execution on the players. However, in most cases, it was also the quarterback who had a QBR 8.2 and a passer rating of 55.9. That is third QB. That's emergency QB level quarterback play. Tua was inaccurate. He was given every opportunity by his head coach to do well. And I think, Sammy, you jumped off, but we talked about this on Finn's Faithful, where we felt at one point with Lo-Fi and with Sammy, with Jason and with George, about the fact that I felt that Mike McDaniel was trying to get Tua's stats up and kept on giving Tua opportunities to be successful. And every time he did, he could not convert. And they actually took Devon Achane out of the red zone when Devon Achane made plays today that no other running back except for maybe Jonathan Taylor and Jahmyr Gibbs can make. He was breaking tackles like I've never seen. But for me today was a microcosm of what's wrong with this football team, and that we are a 53-man roster, but we are sucked in. But the focus always ends up being post-game about two people who are the consistent problem for 4 years: Tua Tagovailoa and Mike McDaniel. The play clock. Sorry, taking a timeout. Can't win a challenge. What happened heading into the end of the first half, where you have the ball with a minute and a half left, or minute 15 left, and then on the first play you call a timeout. Then on the next play you run the ball. Then after that you let the play clock go all the way down to kick a field goal. What kind of head coaching is that? You don't want your quarterback involved all of a sudden. You don't want him to make a bad play like an interception, like an arm punt, but then you utilize him in the third quarter like he did nothing wrong. So it was very confusing there. Then on a play in the third quarter, you take on a play that was so tight, you waste a challenge on that. You can't win a challenge to save your life. The way that, and I'm telling you, I don't understand, Bobby and Sammy, of everything, as bad as Tua was, how Mike McDaniel, after what happened in Spain on 4th and 1, how with that run skill, Ingold should be cut. I'm sorry, Ingold, Gordon shifting. How you cannot figure out how to get half a 1 yard on a 4th and 1, punt the ball. If you can't figure out after 4 years, Mike McDaniel, how to perform short yardage, you can't be a head coach in the NFL. It's absolutely insane how that's actually possible that you cannot convert. And Bobby, I said this on the pregame show, on George's postgame show. If I had a choice, McDaniel or Tua, goodbye Tua, cut Tua. You will never convince me otherwise that Tua should not be cut. Goodbye, see you later. In my life, I have never a coach. Do you understand this, Bobby? You went to church. I appreciate that you may have not seen this. You know Mike McDaniel had the audacity in the postgame show to blame Devon Achane for dropping the ball on that slant play. That was actually a good play call by Mike McDaniel. The Tua did not throw to the chest within 3 yards of Devon Achane. He blamed Devon Achane. Then he blamed Julian Hill for the play that was behind him that he said he should have caught. He's blaming the players. He's defending Tua. So as much as you guys like to rile on me that he's not protecting Tua, he protects Tua. Tua took accountability for his actions today. But Mike McDaniel continues to support this quarterback. He is the guy who supported this quarterback in getting him his contract. Tua Tagovailoa, you're being nice. Tua Tagovailoa, I used to defend him, is a below average quarterback who does not deserve right now to play quarterback next Sunday. He almost cost his team the football game. Every chance he had to score touchdowns, it bothered me. Then he went away from Devon Achane every chance he got. I don't care. Short yardage, give it to Devon Achane on a slant, on a check down. I remember I said on the pregame show, guys, check down it today. No, he's not check downing it today. I don't understand. They're bombing balls they're trying to get Cedric Wilson in. He's underthrowing Greg Dulcich. Did you see how angry Darren Waller was in the end zone, how he overthrew him? How do you overthrow Darren Waller? Come on. Like, unbelievable today. What we learned today is something that we already knew, but we included it. A win is a win, fantastic. but they actually regressed as a football team. They played this phenomenal football game against Buffalo. Then you go to Spain, you have some issues. You come home, you look at the tape. What could I do better than what I did in Spain? And you come out and you do this? Win is a win. Great. Victory. Fantastic. But as Sammy says, it's not winning that's the most important, it's how you win. And he goes into this locker room. And I believe Curtis said it on Fit Faithful. The players should be happy about winning because it's their job. They went out and did their job. But the mistakes that they make, this defense kept them in the game and then kept them in the game the whole time. Taylor Shaw had a better game than Tua, had a better passer rating than Tua, connected with the receivers better than Tua. You watch this week with Burrow getting the ball. Tua cannot throw the football anymore. He can't get out of the pocket anymore. Bobby, Sammy, did you see Tua cheer himself on? And when he thought he got the first down and he slid 2 yards too early, a year and a half ago, he doesn't even know how to slide, Bobby. The man doesn't know how to slide. He didn't see where the first down marker was. He was just proud that he slid. It's like, Bobby, it's like your daughter. You're at the park this past week for Thanksgiving, right? You took your kids to the park, and your youngest goes down the big slide. Daddy, look at me. I did it. I did the slide by myself. Tua was looking for praise that he slid properly. Like, what are we doing here, guys? This is laughable. Like, we're watching a football team win football games in spite of their quarterback. They're winning in spite of their coach, who can't win a challenge, who can't call timeout. Bobby, 12 men on the field. How many games are like? How do you not know how to count the number of players? The Escher comes off the field. They can't count. It's unbelievable. They take timeouts because they can't get the play calls in again today. It's unbelievable. Riley Patterson was great today. But I think it was Jalen Waddle touched his finger the ball. Like, it was so Dolphins today. It was just so Dolphins, and it was so close. Like, what are we doing here? It's just so funny. But this team gives you hope. They suck you in, and then they almost lose it. They give the game away. Like, I go, why can't they go step on somebody's throat? Can you at least go? You had all the advantages. You had the warm weather. You were at home, coming off a bye against one of the worst football teams in the NFL that didn't have their best player on the field in Alvin Kamara, a rookie quarterback, and you almost lost the football game. If it wasn't for your defense. Once again, Anthony Weaver. You know what's interesting, Bobby and Sammy? They said it on the show, on the broadcast, because they were ripping Tua all game, that Anthony Weaver's defense gives up the highest pass percentage of all the average quarterbacks. The quarterbacks have the highest completion percentage, but they don't break. If you look at the points they've given up the last 3 games, they've been great. And I got into a big argument with Greg and Brett about Achane. Achane is fool's gold. He is the best thing to happen to the Dolphins in 25 years. He's phenomenal. Great player. And they didn't utilize him. Like, Bobby, they stopped using him. He should have had, I told you, they should give him the ball. Did you see some of the plays he made? Brett and Greg were even complimenting him how he was breaking tackles. The guy's a wonder. But let's give the ball to Tua to throw it down the field after we collected him some beautiful interception. Guys, Tua Tagovailoa is by far, will go down as the worst QB signing extension ever. Why worse than Deshaun Watson? Because at least Deshaun Watson isn't playing. The problem is Tua's playing. And I prefer to have Tua on the bench.
Sammy.
That's ridiculous.
No, I'd rather have Tua.
You
don't think
that's just absurd.
Tua on the bench is better than Tua on the field?
No.
At this point, Bob, Sammy, Mike McDaniel. I said this to Bobby, and I said this on the show. I don't think you left. I said this that Bob, and I want you to comment that Tua and Mike McDaniel. I said this to Bobby at the beginning of the year, and I think I said it to you. They needed to break up. They had to, at the end of the season, one of them had to go. It's like a marriage where you stay in it for the kids. You stay in it because you don't want to deal with the pain of actually having to deal with it. Mike McDaniel defended Tua today. They're going to have a sleepover tonight. You didn't throw a bad ball. Achane should have caught it, even though you threw it out of his behind him. Julian Hill should be able to have arms behind his head back like his octopus. Come on, guys. This is laughable. He continues to defend this pathetic excuse of a quarterback. How much more times are we going to defend a quarterback who's completely regressed? This relationship is so toxic between Mike McDaniel and Tua Tagovailoa that one of them has to go, and it better be Tua first, because he's persona non grata in Miami now. Like you can't defend him anymore. No one can defend this guy anymore because he doesn't change. He doesn't get better. He goes out there 5 hours before the game, practices everything, and he gets worse. He's actually gotten worse as a quarterback this season. We'd be better. I'd like to see a game with other QBs just to see something. At least maybe we'll force the ball to Achane more. But all to say, I can't. It's so hard to watch him play quarterback. It is really hard to watch.
There is no doubt Tua's absolutely regressed to the point where you're right. No one, I can't imagine anybody, and if they did, I'd have to question their sanity to defend that point that he should remain the starting quarterback of the Miami Dolphins in the foreseeable future. I will say that I am very close myself because you know when it's time to wrap up on a QB, you're like, okay, at the end of the year we're gonna have to wrap this up, dude. They got to go find someone else, and you go, but why do you stay with that guy? Well, because he gives you the best chance to win. He's your starter. He gives you the best chance to win. However, the more and more I watch and the more I think about it, I don't know if that's the case. I really don't believe that's the case anymore with Tua Tagovailoa. He is a liability. Legitimately. I think you could still win whatever games you're going to win if destiny foresees it, however you want to think of it. You're going to win the games you're supposed to win. I think with whoever could be back there, whether that's Zach Wilson or Quinn Ewers.
Mm-hmm.
Tua is a liability.
Mm-hmm.
He is not the same guy. He can't run. He can't throw. He throws granny balls. He can't slide. Dude, I've been in reality since we drafted him. I think the reality though is the reality that's come forth is that he does not give you the best chance to win. And I will say, well, again, if you think of Skylar Thompson and Teddy Bird, or Jacoby Brissett, yes, he did. Right now, he's not. He does not give you the best chance to win. For those who are listening, I'm responding to DSG. If you don't see the comments here on YouTube, so yeah, I obviously with Miami continuing to win, they're going to say, okay, well, let's just stay with everything the way it is and let's go. But would it shock me if McDaniel tomorrow came out and said, we're going to go ahead and make a change at quarterback? No. I would welcome it with open arms. Because Tua is a liability. He's not going to win you games. He's going to cost you a game. I don't know how many times our defense got the ball back or made a stop or did something. And then your offense was subpar unless you had Achane, who is the saving grace. He is the best thing about this offense right now. Not Jalen Waddle. And it's not hating. This is fact. Not Jalen Waddle. Not Darren Waller. Not Tua Tagovailoa. Not Patrick Paul. None of those guys. In the words of Sammy, of Finn's TV, Achane is our MVP. Tua. WBVP, Waterboy, valuable player, because that's what he should be doing. He should be on the bench, handing a starting quarterback their Gatorade and telling them, "Hey, man, I just want to let you know when I was watching this, watching from the sidelines, and I'm looking at your tablet here. This guy was wide open." That's probably what it'd be good for. But legitimately, I just watched Tua, I don't wish failure. No, I want him to be successful. I want him to score touchdowns. I want him to have a killer game. I'd love to see the Tua from 2 years ago. I'd love to see that. But you just can't. You just can't. I'll tell you this. You can't unsee what you're seeing. You can't not see that this guy's regressed to a point where it's like there has to be a change. And I'm not saying it's going to happen now. I'm not saying it should. I'm just telling you the change has to happen. They should not go into next season with Tua as the unquestioned starter. It's getting to a point, and maybe to that point, it's getting to a point where Tua shouldn't be the starter going into next year. It would be malpractice of the highest order if you go into next season as Tua as your starting quarterback without some kind of emergency plan or a legitimate guy ready to compete on the preseason and whatever. I don't care. You don't have to get some superstar guy because you can't afford it because you're paying too damn much money. But, hey, if Kirk Cousins is there, you go get Kirk Cousins. If you got to go get another guy who just got cut from his team, you go get that guy. And he's a Tua, you got to compete to him for the starting spot. And if you play like ass in preseason or you play like ass in the first 3 weeks of the season like you did this year, we're going to get you to the bench. Because Tua will cost you a game. He's not going to win you a game. Oh, but he threw that touchdown. He didn't throw a touchdown today, but I'm saying, but he threw a touchdown. Let's be real. It's his weapons. Devon Achane's winning you these games. The defense won you the game. Barely now. They almost gave it up. But yes, there's a curtain call coming, and the curtain call is on Tua. It's just what it is. True Blazer, it looks like Finstanz's burner account says the Dolphins aren't winning a Super Bowl next year. Take the cap hit. Move on. Cut the chain. And again, and I'll tell you, I think, Evan, you're right on the money. I think we all agree that there should be a clean house with this team. We know the season's still going, so it's not going to happen. But I think the first person that absolutely needs to go, or at least there has to be a change in regards of job title, is Tua. Because you could hire any other coach, but Tua's your starting quarterback, you ain't going nowhere, brother. You could find another guy possibly, and if McDaniel's your coach, maybe, just maybe, things start to work out. Maybe. I'm not saying it will. But if Tua's your starter, you ain't doing a damn thing. A damn thing. That Zach Wilson will. Sam Darnold did. Daniel Jones did. Not saying he's any of those guys, but usually when quarterbacks leave the New York area, my man, they do better off.
Geno Smith did for a couple of years in Seattle.
There it is. There's Geno Smith. It's true. Laugh it up, Jets boy. But yeah, I really don't, because we know when guys fall off a cliff and they start to digress, and it's like, hey, getting to that point. But this was like a complete drop off. Sammy, are you on the or is it come to for you to, because you were a Tua defender, and I know you've been on the edge, like, hey, but are you completely off the Tua train as the starting quarterback for Miami Dolphins?
It's a hard decision for me because the financials are way too big. And I get that, but I had to digress. If you are stupid enough, and I don't mean none of you guys, to say, this is Tua. I always knew he sucked. This is bad Tua. The Tua that 2 years before wasn't bad Tua. If you are idiotic enough to say, I always say he was bad, he has never been this bad.
This is different. This is not.
So if you're moronic
no, I'm never saying. I
was always right. No, not you. I was always right because I always said Tua was bad and Sia was right. Bro, sis, get that out of here. Tua was not that bad before. Tua's bad now. Now this is bad Tua. Granted, he's done. He's out. So, there's no way you can compare how bad this is right now. not this time. But I'm not gonna take anything away from anything I said. I always been a believer in Tua, but if he's done, he's done. And it's not only physically. You can see the mechanics, the arm straight, the mobility is not there. He's taking a huge dive physically this season. He's there. I don't know if it's the hip. I'm not a medic. I'm not a doctor. I have no idea. But this is bad. This is undeniable. But if you want to say, no, Tua was always better, I was right. Yeah, Tua hater, you're Tua believer. Get the out of here, bro. Come on. No, Tua. The problem still remains. If the financials are there, it's hard for me to say. I'm not yet to the point to say let's cut him off today and put Zach Wilson in it because Zach Wilson is so bad. I wanted Mac Jones to be the Tua's backup. I will.
Yeah, me
and
too.
That's the way I want it. I don't know why they went with Zach Wilson. No idea. But I'm not sure Zach Wilson is gonna get this team any better right now. If I thought we had a comparable or someone even that could take it a little bit better than Tua, hands down, let's do it. But I'm not a Zach Wilson believer. Queen Ewers, from what I'm seeing, I don't know. I still don't think. I have not seen anything that makes me believe that he's got Tua's bad. But are any of those guys better today? I don't know. If we have the competent backup, if we have Steve DeBerg from the 80s and 90s, it was a backup. He's his career as Tua's backup, an elderly backup. That's what I wanted for Tua too. If Tua's there, get him an elderly backup. Someone who's gonna be a mentor. The Dolphins never did that. I would put him in right now. I would do it right now. But with Zach Wilson right there as the backup.
So I think you're right.
It's hard for me. It's hard for me to say have any confidence in Zach Wilson ever. I didn't not want the guy, but so
no,
it's
I get
complicated.
it. I want to say very quick. I'm with you too on the contract situation. I'm not ready to say because I don't want to get the hit, but I understand the logic behind. I understand why people are saying that. And I see what you're saying. I think you're on that boat, but you're you're not saying we don't have a better guy, or you still think Tua gives you the best chance to win. Despite what you think, you still think he does give us the best chance to win at quarterback.
It's complicated. I'm not there seeing what Zach Wilson is doing. They will have to remove basically Tua because the backups don't get any snaps. So they had to make that call today and say from the season on, Zach Wilson is the starter and give the whole rest for the week.
And I
guess
that's
the story. They have to do that. You have to bench Tua, probably make it number 3 because you don't want even to be the backup. You have to make it number 3.
Yeah, you emergency quarterback. Season. Yeah.
So
once you do it, there's no turning back at that point.
There's no turning back. You have to make it quarterback number 3, and then you have Queen Ewers at backup. And you basically said, this decision is made. Tua's not gonna come back next year. Let's go with Zach Wilson. Take all the reps, and the only ones that are left are for Queen Ewers, and let's move on. I don't think Mike McDaniel is gonna do that. I have not seen enough from Quentin Ewers or Zach Wilson to make that decision. Maybe I'm not smart enough, but over the career the both had, for what I'm seeing, Tua gives me more than Zach Wilson has ever done. So I can get, let's give me an opportunity to see. Yes, ideally, yes. But again, you cannot put the toothpaste back in the tube if you put Zach Wilson now for the rest of the season. And the Dolphins won today. So if I'm Mike McDaniel, it will take a lot of cojones for him to do it. I don't think Mike McDaniel has the cojones to do that. So for me, I'm gonna say it right now. I'm not smart enough to say, from what I ever seen from Zach Wilson, to say he will be better than Tua. I'm not saying Tua's good. I'm not defending Tua right now.
I understand it,
but it's hard for me to say Zach Wilson will be the answer. You have Mac Jones, any other quarterback that at least have been competent for 3 games in a row, for 2 games in a row. But Zach Wilson has never done it. He never did it with the Jets. I didn't understand that why they went with Zach Wilson. Any other backup, Teddy Bridgewater as an elderly veteran, put him in there. Let's see what happens. Maybe he gives us a better chance. But Zach Wilson, for me, is not the answer. So it's hard for me to say let's move on from Tua right now.
Good enough. Appreciate the points on all sides of it. We got some comments here. Let's read them and kind of quickly react here. Brother BKL Sports Entertainment. Exactly. Sammy has a point. It's true until I almost spilled my damn drink. They don't need to be better. We need to see what we have. Wilson, Eric says Wilson better arm and runs. Tua has to finish. Go ahead.
We had to see what we have. On Zach Wilson is here on a 1-year contract. It's not going to be next year here, so we don't need to see what we have in Zach Wilson. He's not going to be here next year. That's my opinion, at
least. Drew Blazer, win what? And I will say again, best chance to win. What are we winning? Listen, I say that because the coaches are thinking that. That's what they're saying right now. Okay, Tua gives us a best chance to win. That's why we're keeping him in at quarterback. The question is he legitimately the best chance to win? Sammy is off the train, but he does believe there's nobody there. We don't have there's no Zach Wilson or Quinn Ewers situation where you put Tua down. There's no belief that they will be better than Tua. Evan is about saying that he does not give you the best chance to win. BKL Sports Entertainment. I literally get it, Sammy, because don't forget there's no debate in here. Just end of season and go after it then. Only the real survive. What is up? True Blazer, I am done with Mike and Tua. Move on from these two. I lived 115. I lived in 2019. Yes. Yeah, we all went through the 1 and 15 season. Greg Camarillo and so forth. He will be great for a game, but terrible the next. That's in regards of Zach Wilson, Russ Morgan, the resident Jets fan here on the channel. Omar, Tua's hip is shot. The doctors need to check his hip. Maybe. I think so in regards of not best chance to win, Evan and I on one side, Sammy on the other, but in regards of he should not go into next year as the unquestioned starter, and Sammy and I are on the point of don't cut because the contract hits. Evan's cut. But unquestioned starter, I think we all agree. He should not be the unquestioned starter. They should bring in some competition or replacement in the offseason. Yes, we all agree on that, I think. Good. We could agree on something. You see, kumbaya, fellas. Kumbaya. We won. Smile. It's not over. We won, brother. We're still in the hunt. 5-7. Wild card. We're almost there. I could sniff it. Do you smell what the Dolphins are cooking? I do. In the hunt, baby. We looked for the graphic. We got it. It's there.
Just as the Chiefs. We're one game behind the Chiefs.
Hey, you see? I mean, damn. Tua might finish well this season. Next season is another thing. And true. Maybe. Let us jump here and let's talk some Devon Achane for a minute. He surpassed 1,000 yards on the year. I don't have the exact number, but did finish the game with 22 touches, 134 yards, and a touchdown. Was non-factor in the passing game. I think the leading receiver was Darren Waller with 2 receptions, 47 yards. Wow. But Devon Achane, again, you all know how I feel about Devon. Love him. I believe Miami should extend him next season, get it done, bring him in, and this guy is going to be a factor for you, and then build around him. Don't keep Tua should not be the foundational piece you build around. You should just say, okay, let's go with the pieces that we know has a future. Achane's that guy. Achane's the Saquon Barkley. I'm not saying he is that guy, that type of running back, but I'm just saying he's the Saquon Barkley, Christian McCaffrey type of guy that will go to another team after he has a run with his first team and then become an MVP caliber candidate and lead them to a Super Bowl, whatever. So build around him. He's just that damn good. I have no interest to listen to anybody saying they give him the ball too much, they throw him the ball too much, because he's all you got. Did you see? And I love these guys, but did you see Ollie and Jalen Wright? They had a couple good runs, but they weren't Devon Achane. Achane is the sure thing. That's your go-to. And you until you're out of the hunt, you play your best guy, you use up your best guy. Yes. In a perfect world, you're not going to overuse him if you have the talent around him. But Evan, you know better than anybody, we don't have that talent on this team. We just don't. There's no one better than Devon Achane. There's no one more reliable than Devon Achane. So, shout out to Devon Achane, Pro Bowl player, All Pro. This guy should be extended. It doesn't have to be this year, but going into next year, extend him, give him a good deal. So that way, when you finally figure it out with the QB position and so forth, you got yourself a legitimate running back ready to tear the roof up in South Florida. Evan, your thoughts on Devon Achane surpassing 1,000 yards this season? At this point in the season, and of course finishing the day on 134 yards, 22 touches, and a touchdown.
Devon Achane was underutilized today. I said it in the pregame show. They had to use him more. I didn't want to throw more than 20 passes. He threw 23. So shame. Those 3 passes should have gone to Devon Achane and runs. When they needed a fourth, they were in the red zone. I don't care if you can't. Devon Achane's not good in the red zone. You use him. 4th and 1, slant, check down. You use him. They threw the ball to him once today on a slant pass that should have been a touchdown. That Mike McDaniel blamed Devon Achane for. Shame on you, Mike McDaniel. You don't disparage Devon Achane. You disparage your quarterback for making a bad throw. Shame on you. That's your running back. Unbelievable, unacceptable, pathetic. Devon Achane is all you got. If I'm Devon Achane and Tua is my quarterback next year, I don't want to be here. If Mike McDaniel's my coach, I don't want to be here because honestly, they're not going to. His talent, I don't think has even been untapped yet. What he did today, when he converted with that O line, and I learned this year that our O line today, all O lines are not great, but our O line was bad. Austin Jackson had rust galore. Jonas and Avanaya, not good. Tua could not read the O line getting crushed at all today. The Brewer, awful. No one was good on the O-line today, and he still produced 134 yards of rushing. So good on Devon Achane. Devon Achane should actually have more yards today than he should have. He should have had. He wasn't utilized enough. And I get into fights with Brett and Greg today, where I said, "Oh, if you run the ball, that's why you only score 21 points." They go, "No." Today, when you saw how bad Tua was, you keep on giving the ball to Devon Achane, and you would have scored more points. Because he would have made them short yardage situations instead of Tua forcing the ball to nowhere. And today you saw Tua was a spot thrower who threw to nowhere half the game. Devon Achane is right now in his third full season, is a top 3 running back in this league this season, and it isn't even close. He's actually, I think, he's as important as Jonathan Taylor is to his team. He's as important as any other. I don't see anyone else. Maybe Christian McCaffrey. I see Christian McCaffrey, Jahmyr Gibbs. I see, but now they're faltering a little bit. Devon Achane is the reason why you're winning, and that's with the defense. It's almost like the Dolphins of old, running defense with the good quarterback. And Bobby, you said this to me once, and I now wholeheartedly agree with you. And based on what I saw after a couple of games, I would have been dialing last year. I would have begged, borrowed, and steal now. Look back on it. You pick up the phone. You call up Ryan Tannehill and say, "Ryan, what are you doing?" Because Ryan Tannehill would have this develop with that running game would do more than Tua Tagovailoa. He literally is a boy wonder, a little guy who's doing a lot more than anyone ever expected him to do. And I actually think his talent is being held back because of the stupidity of his head coach. If he had a proper head coach who knew how to use the running game and stick with the goddamn fucking running game when it's working, Mike McDaniel, then you might have actually had an easier win today. But no, when it's 4th and 1, when you're in the red zone, let's give Tua the ball. When we have an interception for Rasul Douglas and we're at the 40-something yard line, let's air it out to Devon Achane because we need to prop up Devon Achane's yard. Because, by the way, how pathetic will it be, guys, if if Jalen Waddle doesn't, if Jalen Waddle doesn't hit 1,000 yards again this season? How pathetic would that be? How pathetic would that be?
What is he?
I have to go for a second, okay?
Doing something.
I have to go get the door. I'll be right back, okay?
Go ahead, brother.
All right.
What happened there?
It's always something, bro. No, that's all right. We'll be back. Where is Jalen Waddle at for the season?
I think around 700 something. Still a little bit underwhelming.
It is underwhelming. No, it is. But he still has some chances. But based off what we see from Tua at quarterback and just the way the offense is going, it's going to be a very, very tough hill to climb. Duke, what's up, Duke? Tua's regression is bad, but I think McDaniel doesn't get enough blame for his play calling, especially from mainstream media. who pretend he's some offensive genius. You know, the McDaniel, I think, gets a lot of the blame and should, especially when any given Sunday, right? A team could win any given Sunday if you allow them to. And Miami almost did against New Orleans today. And of course, you got to look at your quarter, you got to look at your coach, and you got to look at how he gets his guys prepared. The key thing that's always brought up every game, every post game, every time we talk Dolphins in regards of coaching is the adjustments, halftime adjustments. Even when you're winning, you should adjust because you know what they're giving you, you know what they're going to do to you. And Miami is famous for not doing that. McDaniel is famous for not doing that, and his play calls are very, very, very suspect. He has some very smart play designs, where you go, damn, that was actually really good. But there's other ones where you kind of go, why did you do that? Why would you call that? So I think, Duke, you're not wrong. Tua should get the blame, and it has been very bad. But McDaniel should get a lot of the blame as well. There is no doubt. We got to win now on to the next game. That's true, Eric. 100%. You're not wrong. We got the win. And that's what you want if you're a Dolphins fan, right? We know, again, and you could win and go sneak into the playoffs and still should make a change at quarterback. That's where I am right now. And saying making a change does not mean cutting and taking the major hit and whatever. Making a change is being aggressive, going out, searching the field, finding a quarterback if he's available via trade. And there's a few out there. And I'm not going to, I'm not the guys I mentioned are not the guys I'm saying. I'm just throwing them out there. But again, I mentioned Kirk Cousins. Kyler Murray is not long for Arizona. There's a lot of potential QBs out there that Miami could be aggressive and trying to get to have them compete with Tua. And then, you think of the rookies, should Miami waste a first round pick? Not say waste, but should they draft a quarterback in the first round, depending on who's there when they pick? But realistically, there's going to be a lot of good players in other positions, impact positions that you could go for, but you could look into the third round or the second round and fourth round, whatever, and get a guy and still have them compete, So yeah, Waddle is a bust, saying it since last year, DSG, the March to 500. I see it as the March to 6-7. It's coming. It's like that's why I'm kind of like, oh gosh. But we asked the question. First off, Sammy asked it on Fins TV. We brought it back up on pregame, and now that we got to see Miami, we seen them play against Washington. We all left very happy with the Buffalo game. We all should have been happy. They beat Buffalo, but so did the Texans. So Buffalo seems, it's a really weird year for the guys we thought were going to be contenders. But you did beat Buffalo, but you almost lost the game against Washington and Spain. You almost gave up the game against New Orleans and Miami. So the question, they did their job. They've won 3 in a row. We asked, are they going to run the table? Could they possibly do it, Sammy? That's a question you brought up on Fins TV last Tuesday with the panel. We brought it up again. But now that we've seen them against New Orleans, freaking New Orleans, Tyler Shock, who, again, was very impressive today. Shout out to Tyler Shock, man. I think this was his first start. Maybe I'm wrong, but I was very impressed with what I saw from the rookie today. But they always give it up. But, even though they won 3 games, do you feel any more confident that they could? I think you answered the same. I don't think they're going to win. They're going to win out or run the table. But how's your confidence level right now after watching them against New Orleans about possibly running the table?
The same as always. If I tell you that there's a town in Alaska where it snows every single year for the last 50 years, we were supposed to snow this year, right? So why would it change this year if the Dolphins always go to December and fail to win in the cold weather and fail to wrap up games in January? This team is worse than a lot of teams that have failed that task before. So I don't expect them to do so. To go to Foxborough in January, to go to Pittsburgh Monday night, it's a tall task. I don't even next week against the Jets, it's going to be cold. It's going to be rainy. That's a huge task. If they find a way to go to New Jersey next week in the cold, in the rain, and get away with a convincing win, I might have to say, I might have to think about it. But I don't think they're going to be able to even do that. This team has been kind of lucky that they got healthy at the right time, so to speak. But they were healthy today that they've been all season probably, and they want a squeaker against the Saints. So I I'm gonna ask that question again this Tuesday on Fins TV, just because of the fact that on some parts of the game they're getting healthy at the right time, they're winning at the right time down the stretch. This is what good teams are supposed to do. They're supposed to get healthy to the last phase of the season, start winning the last phase of the season. But that doesn't mean that they're gonna be playing playoff football in January. I don't think they will. It's such a way too tough of a task. Again, New England, Pittsburgh, the Jets, uh, you know, Joe Burrow coming to Miami. The Buccaneers are a playoff team. It's way too much. If they had done one of the games that should have won, if they had beaten the Panthers, had they beaten the Patriots where they had a chance, and the Chargers, maybe they will do as they always do and fight a way to win back into the playoffs. But this year, it's not going to happen.
No, I think you're right on. It's gonna be it's you can't. It's just it's hard to envision that. Evan, your thoughts if you're with us. Are you there?
So Cole cannot. He lost his
voice. Repeat your question because I got a little distracted about something, but I resolved it.
No, I was just asking. The question that was brought up on pregame Vince TV about Miami. I mean, I think we all agree that we didn't see them running the table. But where does where does that meter stand 1 to 10 that you believe Miami? They've done their job. They've won 3 in a row. They're in the hunt. It's not pretty. But if what you saw against Spain in Spain, what you saw here today at Hard Rock, what we saw against Buffalo, you add that up. You look at this football team. How are you feeling about Miami potentially running the table and maybe really getting to that point where they could possibly see a wild card spot?
When the season started, we all looked at that. When the first game took place, we all looked at that game going, Mike McDaniel had all offseason, and this is the performance of his football team. Now you have not a great game against the Commanders, a 3-8 Commanders, who if Jaden Daniels would have been there, you would have lost the football game. If they would have had Terry McLaurin and they would have had the Jaden Daniels in that football game, you would have lost. And you come home after the bye, after making a lot of ineptitude mistakes in that game. It was ridiculous. And then you come and this is what you perform at Mike McDaniel after a bye. The rubber, I said it 2 weeks ago. The rubber hits the road. They're going to MetLife Takeover in the cold in December against the Jets, who are playing with house money, who don't care about winning this year, against Tyrod Taylor, who gives the Miami Dolphins fits. Next week, all comes back to reality. Back to reality. Go gravity. Mike, I'm telling you.
Oh, you had the right attire for that. Keep going. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. Bring it.
Now, next week, you said, Bobby, that Tua Tagovailoa is a liability. Tua Tagovailoa, mark my words, he's the starting quarterback in next week's game. He will cost you this football game. He will be the reason why you lose. It won't be the defense. It will be Tua Tagovailoa. The man's average QBR today, for the season, Bobby, is almost 31. He had a QBR today of 8. His average passer rating is in the 90s. He had a passer rating today of 55. His average percentage of throw is close to 70. He threw 50 today. The quarterback has gotten worse game after game after game. They played well against Buffalo, and then they crapped the bed against the 2 bad teams. When you're supposed to put a step on their throat, Tua Tagovailoa is only proving our point that he is a below-average quarterback who needs a new place, which I begged for last season. Mike McDaniel is a very bad evaluator of quarterbacks. Why? He developed Skylar Thompson for 3 years, couldn't do anything with him. Had Teddy Bridgewater, a veteran, did okay, but couldn't maximize him. Chose Mike White, didn't do anything with him. He's the one who chose Zach Wilson. He said, I don't need Mike White anymore. I'm going to go select Zach Wilson, the 3rd quarterback for the Denver Broncos, to be my backup. I don't need to use him. I have Tua. Tua, it wasn't your fault. It's Devon Achane's fault. It's Darren Waller's fault that he's not 7 feet tall. It's Julian Hill's fault that you threw the ball behind him. It's not your fault, Tua. It's okay, Tua. You're going to be okay, Tua, because I'm here. As long as Steve Ross likes him, and I invite him over for a threesome with you, I'm still going to be. You're still going to be our quarterback. So you still got another season. I'm telling you right now, Bobby, go listen to it. He threw Devon Achane and under the bus. Who was the guy? Who decided to let Tua throw that ball when you should have run with Devon Achane when you got the interception for Rasul Douglas? Who was the guy who had the play calling not to have Devon Achane on the field in red zone or on 4th and 1? Who was the guy who told Tua, I don't trust you all of a sudden and I'm going to knock the clock down like I'm Tony Sperano to go for the field goal, take the timeout with 1:15 left, then let the clock run to go kick a field goal to get out of the half, when you know that every time we come out of the half, we don't adjust. I didn't say that. Sammy said it. And you have an awful drive from your defense, and now you're playing. Tua needs to basically wake up his defense and take another big score lead. What did Tua do in the second half, Bobby? How many points did we score in the second half? If I remember correctly, we scored a total of 5. 5 points. 5 points. Second half. None in the third quarter. 5. And 2 of them were thank. So that's Riley Patterson and Minka Fitzpatrick, who saved your keister because that would have been a tie game. What did Tua do in the second half? Nothing. And what did Mike McDaniel do? Use Tua more than he used Devon Achane. And what happens, Bobby and Sammy, when you use Mike Tua more than you use Devon Achane? What's likely going to happen, Bobby?
Lose.
Thank you. So, next week, Jets, MetLife takeover. Miami has the Dolphins, the worst football team, as long as Tua and McDaniel are on the field, calling the game, throwing the ball. We're never in control, because when you say Miami, you say a toilet bowl.
Stick to rapping.
I know, I'm not very good at that. Mike, what do you want from me? All I can tell you guys, come on. Bob, Sammy, you even said, Jets, that's where it ends. You even said it last week. It's where it ends. It's as clear as day. You're adding Tua, but Bobby, you're taking Tua, who's the worst you've seen, because even then, even in all the years, I have never, in all the years of Tua Tagovailoa being the quarterback of this team, even going back to the first year of Flores as a rookie, where he was a rookie, he's never been this poor. He's never been this indecisive. He's never been this inaccurate. Bobby, he can't make 2 or 3 pass throws down the field. He can't hit a 6'6" He cannot hit a 6'6". Bobby, remember I told you that before the game, he takes the ball and he throws the ball like it's everything on him. He threw an air ball to 3 guys like it was a Hail Mary going into the half.
Yep.
On the first down, if that was the arm punt to end the half, fine.
Nope.
What was that? It was first down. And it's not like a Waddle had a step on him. You could see that the safety was waiting for the ball. So it ends next week. I'll tell you now, I don't predict the Dolphins winning next week. No chance. Because Tua Tagovailoa will be your starting quarterback. Now. Just as a revenge game. And I'm going to say, I said this on George Finn's Faithful podcast, and I'm actually mean it. And I mean this in a really strategic way. I think Mike McDaniel wants Tua to succeed, so he'll put the ball into his hands to have the ability to succeed. If you put a quarterback who's not as capable as Tua, who has a $220 million contract, you're going to be more conservative. Bobby, I wanted checkdowns today. I was begging for them, pleading for them. How many checkdowns did we have today? None. 0. Buckets. Nothing. There was not one checkdown. Not one checkdown to Achane. Not one. That would have given you some momentum. Keep the ball moving down. No, let's bomb the ball. Let's throw the ball to a spot where no one is, because I'm guessing where they're going to be. Because, by the way, you know what the problem is also, Bobby? The anticipatory throws aren't even accurate anymore. No one knows where to be with Tua anymore because he's not accurate anymore. He's throwing behind you, above you, below you. Greg Dutchel tried to go a 3-yard pass, Bobby, out of the pocket, threw it to his feet. Tua could not see the stick. That was 2 yards. Let me throw the ball to Julian Hill. 3 yards. He literally, Bobby, he threw the ball behind him when all he had to do was walk for the first down. Who is your quarterback? He's going to get out. The Jets are going to, Aaron Glenn is going to have some fun with him next week. He is going to be a problem. The only way you win next week is you win in 11th. You're going to win because of Devon Achane. That's it. That's all. He had 2 receptions. Your highest receiver had 2 receptions today, Bobby. 2.
So I want to all fair points. And I just want to.
Had 3 and Washington has 4. Sorry, but they only have 30 yards for them, 40 yards. Not very good.
Okay. All right. We're close to wrapping. I just want to say I want to answer Duke very quick. And obviously I'll say, "Oh, Duke." But Duke says, "Bobby, do we wait till 2027 to draft a quarterback? Would you consider moving up? Just draft for a QB." I think all options are on the table, brother. I mean, again, I will say, as much as we do need to make a move in regards of a quarterback to compete or replace Tua as the starter, yeah, they should be looking at that. But there's a lot more issues with this team other than quarterback, that you shouldn't be locked in on a quarterback with your first pick. I mean, again, if one of those, I think, a guy who also got an extension not too long ago in Austin Jackson, I think Miami needs to look for a replacement for him. If that kid from Francis Malagoa, I'm going to butcher his last name, I'm sure I am, from Miami sitting there, or Spencer Fanu, or Caleb Lamo from Utah, those 2 guys from Utah, one of those guys are sitting there, you go get them. If Ruben Bain or one of those other guys are sitting there, Caleb Downs from Ohio State, if you're in that vicinity, you grab them. However, if you're in striking range for a guy that you believe in as a quarterback, whether that is Mendoza or whomever, you do what you got to do. I think that there will be some decent guys with sneaky high ceiling, available in the 2nd and 3rd round. And if Miami legitimately wants to just draft a guy to have him compete with Tua, they could do that, and then you could go big in 27. But I will say again, yes, you should find a replacement or a guy who can compete with him at quarterback. But there are other issues with this team other than quarterback that you can't just ignore if a better player is sitting on that board. If you got one quarterback here, but then you got an all-pro guy who is a game changer or a game wrecker, like if Ruben Bain is sitting there at edge rusher, if Ruben Bain is there, you go get freaking Ruben Bain. If Francis Malagoa or one of those tackles are there, you go get one of those guys. You don't pass up on one of those guys for a guy who might not be just as good. It's just so. Yeah, they should consider it depending on who's available to them and how they feel about them. But anyway, we are at an hour in. It's been a long weekend. And leave Mendoza. Sea Devil. What's up, Sea Devil? Didn't see you all there till the end there. What do you mean and leave Mendoza? If Mendoza's sitting there and
if he falls that much,
you absolutely consider it. If he's sitting there at Miami's pick, yeah, you make the move. I mean, would you consider? I would consider an edge rusher in round 1. Yes.
The problem is that by now we know how much does it cost to don't make the right decision at quarterback, and we didn't have to trade off for Tua, because when Tua was on the board and the Lions were rumored to take him, but so many people, I didn't want them to trade up, but so many people wanted to trade up to make sure you get the quarterback. So if you trade up and the guy is not the right guy, it's an even worse mistake, because now you invested future picks to wait for a guy. You have to give him the opportunity to develop 3-4 more years. You only go for the quarterback if you're sure it's the right quarterback to go for.
Yeah. I'm more a fan of trading back than trading up. I think you wait and let the draft play itself out. Nick asks, would you consider an edge rusher in round 1? Yes, I would. Again, if Ruben Bain is sitting there, Bradley Chubb, props to Bradley Chubb. I mean, he had a sack today. He did well today. But more than likely he's gone. You traded Jalen Phillips, Bradley Chubb's contract, the cap hit. We talk about, cutting to realistically, Bradley Chubb might be gone this year. Chop Robinson has not had a very good sophomore year. He's not healthy right now. So even if with Chop, if you traded Bradley Chubb, if you lose Bradley Chubb and you traded Jalen Phillips and possibly Judon, you're going to need another edge rusher again. And if there's a guy like Ruben Bain sitting there, you don't pass up on that guy. I don't care what his position is. That's a game changer. That's a game wrecker. That's a guy who can change the trajectory of your football team when the pieces are in place, like a Devon Achane. You make that move. Sea Devil, 2 1s and 2 2s move up for Mendoza. Would you do 2 1s and 2 2s to move up for Mendoza?
Problem is that if the Dolphins move for Mendoza and Mendoza is there are so many. The Jets, for example, have more power to move up to the Titans pick to get Mendoza. Probably closer and more firepower. So it's a challenge to move up. It's a challenge regardless. So, and now with the Jets with so much firepower in the next couple of years, let's say the Jets are at number 4, number 5, and the Dolphins end up at 12. They have more picks and are closer to moving up. So it's a challenge. It's a challenge just to move up.
And again, Sea Devil, and I like Mendoza a lot, and not as his character, the way he carries himself, what he does on the field. He has he strikes all the measurables, but it's very early to say what I would give up for him. I want to let the rest of the season play out. I want to let the playoff play out and roll out, because again, if Miami believes in him and they want to make that move, then they're giving up those many. Then they're putting their careers on the line at that point. And then you just ride with it. But trading up, I'm like, I don't know if there's a player you should do it unless you're on the edge of making a big turn and you're like, oh, I'm a quarterback away. Make that major trade. Miami's not a quarterback away. We know they need to make a change of quarterback, but they're not a quarterback away. B. McD says we may have to replace Achane as well. We may, and that's why, again, I don't sleep on any position in the draft. I just don't. But Achane's was at least for, I think, another year. I think next year is his contract year. Right?
The franchise tag for running backs is not that bad. They can franchise.
It's just, I think it's more about how you feel about Ollie Gordon and Jalen Wright moving forward. If you want to look at a possible another running back, he was a Dolphin. I agree, Sea Devil. Again, that's why those are other things. He's from Miami. He's Cuban. He grew up a Dolphins fan. All that, he's born in Miami. You know what I'm saying? And he's a damn good quarterback. And look what Indiana's doing. So I'm not against Mendoza at all. I love Mendoza, but I'm saying that this team, there's bigger issues than the quarterback. And but I'm still saying we should change him. I wouldn't hate getting Mendoza. I would love it. But again, he's just a lot to trade up for. You got to make sure that guy is a game changer for your team. Nick says, only reason I say no to a trade up is because there's a lot of needs on the team, and we hopefully new draft could hit some on these. New GM could draft a team and could hit some. Yeah, no, exactly. I agree. Dolphins would have scored 30 today with a better quarterback. No offense to it. You're right on. And I don't think that is offense to it. I think that's facts, bro. It's what it is. His team loves him. Absolutely. No. Mendoza, again, I saw an interview with him and just the way he carried himself, the way he gave praise to his teammates. And even though he had a great game, he's like, man, I have to do better there. That just screams franchise quarterback to me. Obviously what he does on the field, but the way he carries himself screams franchise quarterback. You're not going to find another running about Achane who should sign him. You should sign him. And again, though, like a quarterback, I think until you find maybe not with a quarterback, but I'm not against drafting running backs whatsoever. You keep piling on until you hit that nail in a haystack like Achane. Hopefully, maybe a power back that you could just throw and give him the rock and he pounds it and wins the game, or wins the down. I mean, that's what New Orleans needed today. They trusted Tyler Shuck. They gave him the ball. I was kind of like, damn, but I get it. He's a big guy. Didn't work out for them though, which is great news for the Dolphins. Anyway, Dolphins do move up to 5-7. Yeah,
okay. Evan, you're there. You okay?
He's all right.
Okay.
Yeah, he's good. He's yelling at somebody at work.
No, I'm letting you know. I'm not working at all. I'm letting you talk.
It's all right.
Oh,
we are
it's a special episode of the Stop Fucking Show.
No, I'm actually listening to what you guys have to say. I've expressed myself.
We could do a final. I'll let Evan start with this. I will say, if you want to do an early grade, you can do an early grade. It's still early, but
incomplete.
It is incomplete, but I will say, right now, honestly,
it's not
good. It's not
C or it's not C or higher. It's C or
it's a D
or lower.
I'm going to say it's a D. And I love Ollie Gordon, and I'm a fan of Jonah 7A. And again, I think he's on the wrong side of the line. I do blame coaching staff for that, but I'm going to say right now it's a D, Duke. That's me. Evan, do you agree on the grade for the draft so far? The Dolphins draft class?
Yep. D minus.
I think it's pretty a D minus. There you go.
No, like the whole, but I think the entire McDaniel era is only good, is only strong because of Devon Achane. Everything else has been.
I love that. Are you? That's the question. Are you?
I love that.
Cyber
Did you see his
Monday.
face? Do you see how he contemplated? He's like,
no, like I know.
How
I
do you
think
know?
Cyber Monday stuff.
Is he or she washing right now? Is he getting the heads up
No,
that
of
he's
course
getting
not.
fired tomorrow?
No, but I'll be honest. I'll be very honest with you. It's really.
C minus for me too.
I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed with anything except Devon Achane. Name me a player who's had a real impact on this football team, a systematic impact on this football team since Mike McDaniel took the job. None of them. Devon Achane. That's it.
no doubt. No doubt.
And I will never forget, by the way, like I told you, the one thing I want, and I said this very clearly on Finn's Faithful, and I want everyone to hear this and hear me clearly. If I had a choice next season, in 2026, to give Champ Kelly and Mike McDaniel a shot, or have Tua Tagovailoa as our quarterback with a new GM and a new coach, I will take Mike McDaniel and Champ Kelly. I cannot watch him play quarterback anymore. He is by far the most frustrating quarterback I've ever watched on this team going way back. Because if you go before him, Josh Rosen was a guy who came in. Ryan Fitzpatrick was fun to watch. Ryan Tannehill had a 7-year time here, but it was time to move on. It was time to move on. But he was not drafted as high as Tua was, and we didn't tank to get him. He was the first quarter. He was not a top quarterback in that draft class. But whether you have Matt Moore, I'd love to have Matt Moore as our backup now. Oh my God, would that be great? Like all the previous quarterbacks we've had, it's just like Bobby. Ron Achane broke a record now that Ricky Williams had. Like he's tying Ricky Williams. This guy has a star running back with him. A number one. He can't find Jalen Waddle. He can't find Darren Waller. Like how hard? Like you had players today to get the ball to. Like this quarterback. It's like I'm take responsibility. I need to distribute the ball better. No, you need to throw the ball better. You need to actually give a crap. He doesn't look like he cares anymore. He doesn't look. Bobby, when you throw that interception, you played sports, Sammy. I played sports. Bobby, you've coached sports. We all play sports. If you strike out in playing baseball, or you miss a last-minute shot, or you give up a bad goal, or you may throw an interception, even when you're playing pickup football, you'll kick something, you'll throw something. My bad. But guys, doesn't he realize that his career is on the line right now? Like, yes, he has the money, but he loves playing football as much as he does, and he doesn't know how to slide and all this kind of stuff, and he was willing to get concussed for it. Don't you realize that you're ruining your own career by the way you're playing this season? He's
acting clueless. He's acting clueless.
He looks ridiculous. Remember, Bobby, last year we were all criticizing in the last game when we got all upset. Remember that game where we were at the Jets and he had a concussion, but he had the ability to fly and he was wearing the sunglasses and staring at the sky like this? Remember that? Like, yep. The guy looks, because I think Bobby, Sammy, you even said he's not stupid. He's not stupid. He's an educated guy from a very, very cultural family, cares about his community, went to the Joe DiMaggio Hospital, supports the family.
I don't get why he's so clueless.
He's talented instrumentally. He gets on the football field, and he's the dumbest quarterback on the field. It's Bobby. If I'm a quarterback and I have Devon Achane and I'm not playing well, give him the ball. Mike, give Devon Achane the ball. I don't want to throw it. No. I'm going to win. I'm going to do it. I can do it, guys. I can do it. Bobby, I'm going to tell you this right now. The thing that has upset me most in the 4 years that we've done this together, I need you to personally apologize to Chad Pennington. Because you putting Tua Tagovailoa in the same conversation with Chad Pennington, because Chad Pennington was a good game manager. Let me finish my thought. Tua could be an excellent game manager, but Tua plays beyond his britches. He plays bigger than what he is, and he continues to do it. He does plays and he makes decisions as a quarterback that he's incapable of being. He's striving to be something that he's not instead of admitting what he can be, which is an excellent game manager and distributor of the ball who's supposedly accurate and can have a decent career in this league. No, I need to be the best. Sorry.
Don't apologize, Bobby. Just don't.
If I had $1 for every time Evan told me to say it, make an apology, I'd be very rich.
To Chad Pennington.
That's just stupid. Come on.
Anyway,
Wouldn't
look,
he be better? Wouldn't he be better?
How many years did Chad Pennington play for the Dolphins? How many seasons did Chad Pennington play for the
He
Dolphins?
was near the end of his career. What did he play? 2?
No.
2 or 3?
Yes.
2 seasons.
One. He came unexpected, had an okay year.
And
Then
he
the
did well in the
expectation.
playoffs.
Wait. Then the expectation were there, and he crapped the bed.
Yes.
So don't tell me Chad Pennington is so good. It's uncomparable. Don't give me that. Come on. You're smarter than that. I think you're a smart guy. Don't make me think I'm wrong about that. Come on.
Want to know why? Because I actually was stupid enough to support Tua for a couple of years. Shame on me.
Listen, I will say it again. I had to go, but I don't want Bobby to fall asleep on us here, but come on. Tua had good years, and people say he was bad. Now he's bad.
Yes, he had good
bad.
years, Bobby.
Period.
But Sammy, he had good years. But look at his record.
He's not a quarterback.
He
not
has
a quarterback.
had 2 5-game winning.
Granted.
Mike McDaniels had 2 5-game losing streaks. He crapped the bed in Baltimore. He crapped the bed at home against Buffalo. And last year he was 2-6. And this year he was 1-5. It doesn't make sense. The man has regressed.
Do you remember how many games the Dolphins did enough to win on offense, and Josh Boyer defense just gave up third and Boyer after third and Boyer after third and Boyer, and the Dolphins lose the game on defense? Because I remember.
And the last 2 years has been about the defense.
Yeah, exactly.
When Tua's had his contract.
I grant you that.
Tua's contract is the biggest problem because had he not got this contract, I think he got comfortable. You guys, when you do that, like you're in your job for so long, and then you don't have that sense of urgency. Tua does not look like a quarterback with a sense of urgency. He looks like he's just going to play. He doesn't look like he cares about winning anymore. My bad.
Yeah, the optics are not good. I grant you that. The optics are not good, and sometimes he's clueless, and it makes me just mad.
I will say, I think B. McD had a good point, though. Chad Pennington was throwing to Ted Ginn and Anthony Fasano, So I will say that's true. So point there.
I wouldn't have allowed anyone to bad name the great name Anthony Fasano. Come on,
I love Anthony Fasano.
He's better than any tight end we have right now. So
it's true, but
he could catch with his hands tied behind his back.
Yeah, he could.
Yes.
By the way, guys, as much as we ripped Julian Hill, he's been good this year. He's blocking like a ton. But
Bobby, I thought the same thing, and then he made something stupid today. What was it?
It wasn't him.
And then, wow, he's really been good. And then
Bobby,
the job
actually was to us fault.
I have a serious question, Bobby. Though I've actually a very serious question. What is the point of Alex? What has he done this season or last season?
Who?
What is? He's taking up a roster spot and he doesn't do anything.
Who?
He doesn't block. He can't get the first down. 2 years ago, Bobby, they'd hand him the ball or Durham Smith the ball behind center, and they get the yard. What has happened to Alec Ingold? What does he do for this football team?
Oh, yeah.
I'm actually because you remember he was good the first year or two, the first 2 years. Last 2 years, awful. What has happened to Alec Ingold? What is his purpose?
What's happened to the Miami Dolphins? What's happened to Tua Tagovailoa? What happened with our rookies? It's the team, brother. It's guilty by association. Devon Achane's different. That's what makes it so good. That's why it's blasphemy that what you and Brett and Greg have been saying all season, and now you're coming along going, damn, man, they should have given all year, brother. You were saying you're giving the ball way too much to Devon Achane, way too much, and now they should have given the ball more to him. So
I called that
Devon Achane is the what do you call he's the asterisk. Everyone else is just playing to the team.
No, what I will correct myself again. I felt that Mike McDaniel was not utilizing him properly. Now, what I'm seeing more and more is that, in spite of Mike McDaniel's stupidity, Devon Achane is way better than I thought he was. I thought that he was being misutilized.
You
by
know what
Mike
the problem
McDaniel.
is Mike McDaniel was listening to you. He heard you all this season, and he said, "You know what? I'm going to listen to him. I'm going to take the ball out of his hands, and I'm going to win this football game." And now you're pissed that he listened. So,
Well, it's my fault. He actually.
yeah, I blame you for that, even though he had a great day today.
I must tell you though, this game was lost because Mike McDaniel tried to protect Tua.
They won. They didn't lose. They won.
No, sorry. They won this game. They almost lost. Shit.
Did they?
There it is. There it is. Got you, Doug. I got you, Fitzstanza.
By the way, Bobby, let me ask you something. They won today. So Sammy, guys, shouts on.
That was good. That was good.
Straight face, guys. Straight face. Did today feel like a win? Did today feel like the Bills game felt like a win? Did the last two wins feel like wins? Honestly, did they feel like wins?
No, Sammy said that. It's a win, but it doesn't feel like a win. I get it.
And honestly, let me ask you guys this serious question. I'm asking the comments too. If you had the ability to go into the Jets game tomorrow without Mike McDaniel as your head coach, do you have a better chance winning next week with the different head coach or Mike McDaniel? Like, do you feel that they could have done what they've done this season with the winning streak? Whether it was because Anthony Weaver, I think, has gotten better as a DC. So do you feel, I'm asking you, the defense has played better. They're saving their keys to the last 2 weeks. 3 weeks, sorry. Last 3 weeks they saved their keys to with Devon Achane. Do you feel that the team would have been better off this season after game one, after game two, after the Patriots game where I wanted him gone, after the Colts game where I wanted him gone, that the Dolphins would have a better record now with another head coach, with an interim head coach, than Mike McDaniel? I'm actually seriously. If you tell me no. But
no.
If you would have thought, do you think that Mike McDaniel is the reason why we're 5-7? Or do you feel another person earlier in the season would have not lost in Carolina, would not have gotten smashed in Cleveland, would not have.
No. I understand your question, and I get it. Here's where I'll tell you why that's the where you should take out Mike McDaniel and put Tua. Would you be 5-7 with Tua as your quarterback if he was your starting quarterback the whole year? And no, you would probably have a better record than what you have right now, even with Mike McDaniel as head coach. That's the reality of it. That's a reality, because you could put any head coach and Tua as your quarterback. Remember, you put any coach and Tua as your quarterback, you're not going to have a good year. But another coach probably would have benched Tua by now.
Yeah, 14
That's just
interceptions, guys. 14 interceptions for Tua.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what the worst part about all those interceptions are? None of them were contested. Go watch every interception. Every interception is a Tua special. Have you noticed that? Not one play is, the guy made an amazing play. Tua literally threw the ball and made the interception so easy for the defender. When's the last time there was a contested ball? When's the last time? There's no contested balls. They're all gimmies. They're all bad throws. Not a deflection. It's not a tip. It's Tua basically handing the ball to the other football team.
And that's why for me is,
Devil.
And again, I will say, I'm not saying, let's ride with Mike McDaniel next year. No, I think you need to take a very hard look at the coaching style. I think they should have blown it all up at first. But if they don't do that, you ask the question, if McDaniel was not the coach, do you think the record would be better? Should you walk into next week? But no, you would have the same record or possibly worse, because the same thing is that Tua is your quarterback. That's it. And there's other issues with this football team besides Tua, but Tua has regressed. And so you'll have the same issues. The only difference would be with another coach, you more than likely would have benched Tua by now. That's the difference.
Shouldn't a coach, like the same way if you're Sammy, if you see somebody, a teacher, let's say you're a teacher, if you see a student struggling, you're gonna get him the help he needs, whether it's a tutor, you're gonna meet with the parents, you're gonna do whatever you can to get his grades up. The head coach cannot be that dumb enough to see that his quarterback has regressed and has done nothing this season to improve it.
But
Or
here, see,
like to play around with it, you win in spite of your quarterback. No, let my quarterback bomb the football.
Okay,
on
let
first down.
me ask you this. You say, yes, right? In that scenario, student, a kid, whatever, whether it's coaching a team, a young team, like I coach an 8-year-old basketball team, I've done religious education, I've done different things. So we've all had those situations. We all have kids, and so yes, right? You do what you best to help them. But let me ask you this. On a football team, professional football team, grown men in season, what could McDaniel do to make Tua better in that type of scenario, in your opinion? What would Coach Finstanza do with Tua to make him have a better game?
When a guy knows that it's his job, you don't feel that weight. Kyler Murray sitting on the bench. Jacoby Brissett starting. Tua Tagovailoa has never felt in the Mike McDaniel era that his job is in jeopardy. That his livelihood of playing the game that he loves has ever been in jeopardy. Why? Star quarterback in high school, got the ball in the national championship, and then got the reins from Jalen Hurts, and Jalen Hurts had to switch schools. Top rated guy in the draft, drafted. First year, got pulled for Ryan Fitzpatrick, and it's been his job ever since. Mike McDaniel propped him up and never brought him back down to earth. In one of these dumbass games, I don't care. You sit him for one game to say, you want to know what, Tua? You're not performing well. But watch the game, go look at film, light a fire under his ass, and bring out the warrior in him. No. Tua is basically learning as he goes and trying to battle it every week. And I'm sorry, when a guy plays hockey, Bobby, when people play hockey or people play baseball, you don't have to. If you bench him for a game. Here in football, you don't have as many games. But Tua right now, the way he's playing, he needs a wake-up call. In every other sport, Pat Riley, he benched Patrick Ewing, he benched John Starks, he benched Shaquille, he benched Wayne. If someone's having a bad game, you sit him and you give him a break. Tua Tagovailoa has never, ever, 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 ever been taken to task by Mike McDaniel. And in every sport, I don't care if you're LeBron, I don't care if you're Jordan, I don't care who you are. Tua's can't even hold their cleats. If you're having a bad game, you sit them. Unless they're getting killed. Today, Tua Tagovailoa almost cost you the football game. Carolina, he cost you the football game. Cleveland, he cost you the football game. He has been awful. Awful, 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 awful. The same way Jared Goff is costing his team football games in spite of Jahmyr Gibbs and the poor coaching. Right now, Jared Goff, you're not going to bench because he's won a couple games, got to an NFC championship. Tua can't even win a freaking playoff game. One sit. Give him one sit. Wake his ass up. He's never felt the heat.
So you answered. You're saying two different things here. So not two different things, but in two different topics, you've brought up two different things that. Already benched. He's benched. He benched him in the second half.
After the game.
But you can't bench him right now. You can't because the team sees him as the best chance to win. But that's not going to help him play better. No, it will not. No, it won't.
Will. It lights a fire.
Evan, he's regressed. It has nothing to do with mental or anything else. He can't throw. He can't run.
He has nothing to lose.
You have a lot to lose. To the Dolphins, you're mathematically still alive. You got a lot to lose. That's the thing.
In game 4, Carolina, Bobby, in any sport, why do people get benched in hockey? If Marshall's doing this to mess with me? Maurice will sit him. Can I ask you something? Can I ask you a serious question? Because you love to ask serious questions.
30 minutes ago, I was about to wrap it up, but and they said, I was like, oh, we've gotten through a lot. We're doing good. Bobby's not taking the bait. Are you doing this to mess with me? Like, be real.
I'm actually being freaking serious.
No, come on. Are you serious?
On Scout's honor.
Because you just said, wait a second.
Scout's honor. I swear to God, I'm telling you right now, in any sport, Bobby, you've coached basketball with your kid. I understand they're young. when a kid is struggling, or a kid's having a tantrum, or a kid's not behaving, or a kid's not, you put them in their place. When is ever Mike McDaniel, Bobby? I could not believe my voice. You kept on saying, "Oh, Mike McDaniel's done with Tua. He doesn't care. He doesn't need Tua anymore." Devon Achane dropped the ball. Julian Hill dropped the ball. I swear to God, it's there in video. It wasn't Tua who dropped the ball.
I'm going to be honest with you. Maybe he's doing what you want him to do. Maybe he's trying to make Tua not lose his confidence. You're saying, what would you? Wouldn't that what you do with a kid? You said, what would you do with your kids? Wouldn't you say, hey, you know what, man? He got the ball in his hands. $50 million kid. You said a kid, bro. And go ahead, go ahead, Sammy. I have a point, but go ahead.
If I may.
Yes.
Okay, we are evaluating about what we know. We don't know what goes behind the scenes. We don't know if my dad said, "Listen, I saved your ass out there. Those people are ready to jump your ass, but I'm behind you. But time's running up for you and me. If you don't do this, we're both out of here after the season." We don't know the conversations they have behind the scenes. We are assuming that Mike McDaniel says, "Oh, I love you, buddy. Keep doing it. You're great." But you don't know. We don't know if Mike McDaniel behind the scenes saying to listen, time's running up. You better pick it up. I defend your ass, right? That press conference, but you and I both know, you're costing me my job. You're safe. I got you the $50 million contract. I'm not saying he said that, but I'm out after the season if you don't do better, because we only go by what we know, and we don't know what we don't know. We will, and we never will. We never will, because Mike McDaniel, as you say, you have a strong relationship. If you have a strong relationship, you tell people the truth. You might defend them. I've done that before. I've done that with friends. I've done that with coworkers I truly believe in. I defend them. No, you're right, whatever. Yes. And then we go to the office and say, listen, I defended you outside, but you and I both know you're wrong there. You need to pick it up. I've done that before. I don't embarrass it in public. No. I defend it in public, but I tell them the truth inside.
Why is he throwing on Devon Achane? Why is he throwing? He's only throwing his other team. He's throwing his other players under the bus.
Maybe maybe he knows what works for one player and doesn't work for another. Maybe that is holding Achane accountable, saying you got to catch those type of balls.
And his perspective. That's from the silence. Tomorrow you see the tape and says, thank you for that. I'm gonna take that as a compliment. But maybe that's why he's from the silence, and then he see the tapes, and tomorrow say, listen, Devon, I'm sorry, I was running the bus. You were right. You don't know that. You don't know that. We just don't know.
I think that's fair. I think that's fair, and I think we've all done that. It's an honor system type of thing. And I agree. I'm the same way. I will. If I got your back, we're cool. We're brothers. We're whatever. Done that with you do that with your kids, you do that with your wife, yes. You do that with your friends, your family. You stand by their side. You even when they're wrong, you back them up. And then when you get behind closed doors, you're like, hey man, that you need to straighten that out. That's not cool.
Yes,
don't do that again. It's just we've all done it, and they've done it to us, and that might be the case. Why did he throw Achane? Well, he should have caught that ball. Maybe Achane could handle that type of coaching. Maybe Achane should have caught that ball, even though it was a bad throw. It's true. That's how great he is. I will say, too, Evan, you brought this up earlier, and again, I hate to say it because I don't want to question Tua's character or whatever, but you said this earlier, and I think you're kind of right on a little bit. First of all, I do believe McDaniel has lost faith in Tua. It's just, what are you going to do? He's your guy until he's not. I see a whole different side of it. I don't see McDaniel, it's just, he's going to do it. He's the coach. He doesn't want to show open rebellion. He doesn't want to show that, hey, where I'm at war with my quarterback. He's not going to show that. He's your quarterback. You're going to try to bump him up until he does something good. If not, you're going to ride out because you want to look like the better guy. You say, you bring up great points. Why does Tua smile on the sideline? Why is he doing this and that when he's throwing an interception? It looks like he doesn't care. He's already paid, brother. He's got that guaranteed deal. You can't cut him unless you're going to take a big hit. And guess what? He still gets paid. That's why you see that out of him. At least that. I hate to say that, but you brought it up earlier, and it's like that made a lot more sense as to why that's the situation. Go ahead, Sammy. I'm sorry.
And I think that's basically what I've always been saying. That's the kind of guy he is. That's his personality. I don't agree with him. I would rather see Dan Marino yelling at the lineman, if you don't block him, I'll block him. That's the guy that I like. But that's what Tua is. Remember that time when everyone said, no, he's lying on his ass. No, he's not. That's the guy he is. And that's the part too that makes me mad. I want a guy that will go to the sideline, and say to Tyreek with 1 and 2, listen, if you don't do it the right way, you keep dropping balls, I'm not going to throw it to you. And then forget about Tyreek, that didn't happen. He could feed him in the ball. That Kansas City game, it cost us the game. One time after the other. But it's the truth. That might be the kind of guy Tua is at the end of the day. And, I'd rather have Dan Marino again yelling and screaming at his lineman. But that's what Tua is. He's like a lucky-go-lucky kind of guy. Like, yay! But, it's maddening sometimes. When you're losing, it's maddening. When they were dancing at the Broncos, we're dancing and doing this live at Washington. It was great. But when you're losing, all those things get magnified. It's really annoying. But it is what it is.
I want to say, too, Sea Devil, Dolphins aren't eliminated, Leo, but we're in the hunt. I understand that. I get it. And that is why I don't think Miami wants to make, or, even if they wanted to, they're not going to make a change because in their eyes, Tua gives you the best chance to win or continue to win. But do you guys have faith in going into next season as Tua as your unquestioned starter? What you saw today, what you've seen this season, how many interceptions now, Evan? 14? 14 interception. Everything you've seen. The question is, should Miami go into next season with Tua as their unquestioned starter, or should they go and try to bring someone in? Sorry, 1 second, guys. I'm sorry. Yes, please.
Well, while Bobby do something, I'm
sorry. Exercise quickly.
Evan, please.
Bobby, Sammy, let's just do this exercise, okay? I just want while Bobby's there. New England's 10-2. They're in the playoff spot. No matter what, they have the tiebreaker over the Dolphins. Unless the Dolphins beat them by a lot, they're in the playoffs. Whether wild card or not, or first seed. Denver 9-2. They're going to regress and lose. Jacksonville 8-4. They need 2 more wins over the next couple games to get into a playoff spot, or they can win their division. Baltimore is in a battle with Pittsburgh, and let's say it's only one of the 3, but it was Baltimore, Pittsburgh, or them. So they're not in the wild card. Fine. So forget about them. The Chargers are 8-4. They need 2 more wins. That's it. They already have the Dolphins.
Herbert got hurt today, right? I think Herbert.
I can't remember. I don't know, but they have 2 wins. Indianapolis, they're 8-4, 2 wins away. Buffalo, 2 wins away.
3 wins away. 3 losses. Last column are 3 losses.
Yeah. So think about it. There's all the teams we're competing against right now that are in the wild card spot. That are in the wild card have 8 wins. We have 5. Playoffs, guys.
It's crazy.
It's insane. Not normal. Buffalo's not losing. Not winning only 1 more game. Indianapolis is not going to drop another game.
You're just talking about the guys who are in the playoffs. Now do the ones that are in the hunt ahead of us. You have Kansas City ahead of us.
The Texans and the Chiefs.
Texans.
I don't count Pittsburgh. The Texans and the Chiefs. Come on, guys. They have to leapfrog the Chiefs, the Texans, the Bills, and the Colts. Really? Come on.
It's unrealistic. It's just unrealistic.
Unbelievable, guys. Get it out of your skull. There's no chance. No chance of making the playoffs. There's no deal. But it doesn't matter if they're eliminated. You really think that Buffalo?
But I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this, Evan. I
agree with what you said. I agree with what Sea Devil said.
I'm gonna say that's what I'm gonna say, Evan. I'm just doing this to do this. But you play to win the game, and it's not over until it's over. Yes. It's not over until the fat lady sings, or it's not over until you're officially eliminated. And we're not eliminated yet, brother. We play to win the game.
The difference is, I agree. But even if they finish 10-7, which is the best they can finish, you're not playing Indianapolis again.
Evan, keep that negative bullshit out of the damn thing. We're gonna do it. We're still in it. The defense has been playing good. The defense is doing a job. Micah Fitzpatrick, hello, where have you been? We found you. You're here. Devon Achane, it's about GD time. Evan starts giving you some damn respect. Because now you're showing it, brother. You've been doing it all year, but now Evan can't resist the temptation of being sold in. Look, where the hell was Waddle today? What the hell was that, Tua? Yet you still won the game. We still got it, brother. You don't have where's Tyreek Hill? Woo! We still got it. You know, to be the man, you got to beat the man, brother. And we beat him. We got 3 in a row. We're 5-7. We're almost at
baby.
7.
Let's do it.
We got one more to go, brother. You take it a week at a time. It's not over. Don't put the nail in the coffin, my man. The season's still alive.
I don't have to. I don't have to. Tyrod Taylor and the New York Jets and Russ Morgan are going to do it for me next week. Thank you, guys.
Okay.
Let me tell you something about the New York Jets. Fuck the Jets. No one gives a damn about that diarrhea green Jets. I don't give a damn about the Jets. Nasty ass team. Who the hell's a fan of the Jets? The Jets suck. They're horrible. They're garbage. They're trash. Miami's going to go 6-7. We're going to make it all the way to the playoffs. And then you're going to sit there and go, well, I always knew they were going to do it. And I'm going to tell you, brother, it's going to happen. Hopium all the way. Let's get it done.
So, but Evan, you're basically backing yourself into a corner. But what are you going to do if they find a way to win next week?
You know what's going to happen? They're going to be 6-7.
Yes.
The Colts are going to be 9-4.
I love it.
The Colts are going to be 9-4. The Bills are going to be 9-4. The Chiefs are going to be 7-6, and the Texans are going to be 8-5. And then we're going to say, wait. So basically, we need the Bills or the Colts to lose. They basically have to win one more game. One more game. In 2 weeks, it's over, guys. In 2 weeks, it's over. Thank you.
I ain't worried about 2 weeks. We got what we need to do today. We won the game, despite it all, Evan. Despite the interception, despite the pedestrian ass quarterback play, the horrible receiver play, we still won the game. And we're gonna find a way to win next week, brother. All you gotta do, listen, in the words of Bo Dallas, all you gotta do is believe, my brother. Believe.
So should I be like Ted Lasso? Ted Lasso and have the memory of a goldfish? That's what Tua has, eh? Tua has the memory of a goldfish. I'm sorry. From now on, I'm calling Tua goldfish because he doesn't remember what he did the day before because he thinks he played well.
Hey, you can lose 5 more games. We're not getting rid of either one of them until the end of the season, brother. So take the hopium and copium and just let it ride. Let it ride.
Bobby.
And I'm just doing this.
Admit it, Bobby. Bobby and Sammy.
Okay, that was great.
What part of you?
That's the kind of thing I do. That was great.
Guys, what part of you today, when it was 21-17 and they got the onside kick, or when they scored for the 2-point conversion, percentage-wise, that the Dolphins were going to blow it? Did you ever have that sense at one point that the Dolphins were going to blow this football game?
Yeah.
And had they blown it, Bobby, in that fashion, either on the onside, Sammy, on the onside kick, or if they would have gotten the 2-point conversion, got the ball back, went to overtime, do you fire Mike McDaniel tonight? Had they blown that game? And do you bench Tua? Let me ask you, had they lost this football game also, would you have done both of those things? I'm just curious.
They should have benched Tua earlier this season, and they should have fired McDaniel.
No, you gotta believe, Bob. You gotta believe. Come on,
no, that's 2 different things. That's 2 different things. I'm telling. No, you see. What if they lost today? What if they didn't though? See, that's the thing with you. You know, you try to find ways to change the narrative. I'm giving you facts, brother. They won. They won.
Creator.
They won. And you asked me that question. I gave you they should have fired him a long time ago, but they didn't. They're here. They have to win the game. Guess what? They're winning. Guess what? The graphic is there. It's official. We're in the hunt. We're like 4 spots down for being in the 7th seed, brother. So again, excuse me. All you have to do is believe. Believe. Yeah. You got it. Yeah. They're still in it, baby. Sea Devil said it. You see, hook, line, and sinker. Hook, line, and sinker. No, Evan wanted it, and I did it. And you know what? It's fun. It's all fun. And, you know, I wanted to end the show 45 minutes ago, but it's good because I was like, we're good. We don't need any more. But Evan's like, no, hold on a minute. I don't care. Screw your kids. Screw your family life. You haven't had dinner yet? Who gives a damn? Let me go ahead and throw a couple baits in there. And you know what I said? I'm going for it, brother.
You in at the end.
I knew what he was doing. You know, it's all good.
By the way, this is what makes me Costanza.
Yes.
And always remember, Bobby, if it wasn't for Bobby Finstall, there'd be no Costanza.
It's all your
fault. Created this monster.
Blame me, everybody.
It's all your fault. I'm so disappointed.
He was once one of you in the comments, and I was like, "Hey, come on the show," and he's never left since.
And by the way, everybody that I know, funny enough, who watches, who's peaked, has said, I can't believe you actually are funny, actually know what you're talking about. And boy, oh boy, do you know how to poke the bear.
Actually, I'll tell you what. I had a conversation with someone a couple of weeks ago. I said, listen, we were talking off instance. I said, listen, I love Evan Poster. I think he's a great guy. I met him in person. He's a wonderful human being. Great guy, a great family man. I can relate to that guy. I can talk with him without Finstanza.
That is awesome. No, there's no one truly better, man. Finstanza is
absolutely
great, man. And we play off well. But yeah,
yes.
You know, I could be the Hopium guy. I'll be the you know, I'll
throw
it out.
You know how I got accepted? I don't want to make Bobby emotional. The day I knew I was accepted by the Finstock Sports Network was when I got a bear hug from the guy over his shoulder. Wow. Never met me before. Met him for the first time, gave me a bear hug.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
That's when I was accepted into the FTSN family.
That was a low blow, but not very nice to say.
Why is that a low blow?
Because you're gonna get me emotional.
I told you. I got Network.
And I don't see like a poop.
I got FTSN, Melendez blood rubbing through my veins. I'm telling you.
Oh man, no, dude. Yeah. No doubt.
Sorry,
no doubt. It's funny.
I'm sorry, but I didn't have a chance to ask you. Did you enjoy your appearance on Vince TV? Because you finally went to Vince TV.
That's true.
Fantastic.
Okay, that's awesome.
I had the best time. I told you I'm the butt of every joke. I love it.
No, that was great. So
Vince TV's awesome.
I should have been playing along.
It was so entertaining that I made it to Vince Faithful the next day. I wasn't even there on the Vince TV episode.
I just love that part where Sammy's like, Bobby, help me with this. I'm like, I don't want to. No, I'm not hosting right now. I'm not saying a thing. No, help! Who should I place a bet on winning the Stanley Cup? You guys follow hockey. Evan.
Colorado. Avalanche all day long.
Wow.
They've lost one game in regulation this season. One.
Wow.
One.
There you go.
They are
so D-Dub says Golden Knights.
The Golden Knights are not playing as well. No, they're fun.
Breaking news: we are not in the hunt anymore because NBC just put the stand. They only want to 10th, so the Dolphins are not in the hunt anymore.
No, womp. I can actually see a scenario where they could get to 9-10 wins. The problem is they've run out of runway. Way too early.
Hey, here's the hope and dreams. You ready? When Sammy said that, we were all high, and this is it. That's it. It's all over. It's gone. Bench Tua, fire McDaniel. It's over, folks. No, all right. Until next week. Archie Bunker. He's it.
Let me ask you.
Archie Bunker.
So one more last question before I know you guys want to go and you want to go have supper. When they're officially eliminated mathematically, they're not going to get rid of McDaniel at that point. Will you then be on the bandwagon to let's see what Quinn Ewers or Zach Wilson could do the rest of the year? Why do you need to play Tua anymore if you're officially eliminated? So let's say they lose next week.
Yeah.
Let's say they lose next
eliminated.
Week.
Yeah, that's all bets are off. Then you go and try to see what you
got.
2
weeks, if in 2 weeks from now, after they lose to the Jets, they play the Bengals Christmas Day. Sorry, if they get eliminated after the Steelers and they are facing the Bengals, and then they're facing the Patriots, they're facing the next 3 games, the last 3 games of the year. Do you play Do you play the other quarterbacks to see what they got? And stick to the rest of the season.
Sammy.
Coach Sammy Wood.
Who do you play? Do you play Ewers or do you play Wilson?
No, I will not play Wilson. Coach Sammy Wood, but Stephen Ross, after all that lawsuit, tampering, the investigation about throwing games and stuff, he's gonna basically say, "Well, you're gonna bench 2, and we're gonna start well, what? They're gonna say we're tanking. We're not gonna do that." So I don't think they're gonna go that route just because of the sense of optics. I know it's stupid, but that's what I think. I would once I would eliminate.
Slow down Devon Achane or let him get as much stats as you want and try to see what you have with Ollie Gordon to the right. You start playing your other players.
I would have the sense, basically the same sense. I would say that if we were leading by 40 points, you start benching people at the third quarter. I will play the best people, and after the third quarter, I will start benching people.
Yeah.
But I will not make it as just bench the combination for the whole game. You're on a pitch count. After that, you're out.
Let
If
me
you
ask
win,
you:
you win. If you
if
lose,
you had
you lose.
$100 right now, Sammy, right now,
I'm sorry.
right now, $100, put money down.
I wish.
Dolphins making the playoffs, or the with 5 wins, or the Bengals winning the division with 4 wins.
I'd rather have the Bengals because that division is just weird. The
Yeah.
Steelers lost today. The Ravens are not a lock, and the Bengals got that done. They kind of done that before. They got hot at the right time. So, and Joe Burrow was not playing, so they could run the table. That's the thing I do believe. But that defense is just even worse than the Dolphins. So we'll see.
Yeah. And they're going to 2 cold weather games. It's December. By the way, guys, do we have to forget that the Dolphins in December suck?
I said that before.
They suck.
I
So,
said
like, we're going into December. Like, they're not good in December.
They're not going to change.
They're not going to change in December. It's cold weather. It's not going to change.
Better teams have failed. Not this year.
So I'll say very quick, and then we can wrap it. But to Evan's point, if and when they are eliminated from the playoffs, then I would treat the rest of the season as a preseason. That's when you say, hey, Achane, if Achane wants to be all pro, I get it. You get him maybe for the first half, then you let him rest. But that's when you want to see what you got out of Ollie, Jalen Wright. Let Malik Washington get more reps. Same thing with defense. Make it a glorified preseason. See what you got and what you have so you know what you can have into next season. That's what I would do. But we're not there yet because Miami's still mathematically alive. And I hope Aaron Rodgers does not eliminate Miami. I hope that's not the case.
He was awful today.
Yeah, I know DSG. He's always wanted Achane, and not Achane, Aaron Rodgers. But that's all right. Anyway, that's going to wrap it up for an eventful post game. Thank you, Finstanza, Sammy, as always. You could catch Finstanza here on pregame, postgame, and anywhere else on Fin's Faithful podcast on postgame. You of course catch Fin Sammy on Fin's TV. Sammy, any plans for Fin's TV this week on Tuesday?
We're going streaking on Fin's TV on Tuesday. We're gonna talk about the 2 sides of the table. The fans who really believe that the Dolphins will go streaking, and the ones who basically say we just will not be able to go streaking because Tua sucks right now. So that's gonna be a point counterpoint debate on Fin's TV this Tuesday.
There you go. Love it. I love it. So anyway, guys, appreciate you all tuning in. Dolphins are 5-7. They are 1 game away from the annoying ending that won't die. 6-7.
Break your heart, Tristan, but you will not be able to say this season.
I think it's going to happen just because of Tristan. I think it will happen just so he could say that.
Dolphins are going to break his heart again and not give him what he wants because that's what they do. They're going to give you a lump of coal every Christmas.
There's Lou.
Happy birthday, Lou.
How was the ambiance at the stadium? It looked pretty empty. How was the ambiance at the stadium today? What was the sense of the stadium? I'm curious what the sense of the stadium was for the $5 tickets.
In Canadian money, it was $11, brother, in USA.
I'll tell you what. Hopefully they go down because I'm checking tickets for the Buccaneers game and. Those are like you're playing.
When they get eliminated,
it had a lot to do with our opponent.
Snowbird.
I think the Buccaneers games would be more expensive for sure. So anyway,
no, it's also because of the Snowbirds.
That's true. But anyway, appreciate everybody watching. Thank you all so much. Like and subscribe, and most importantly, Dolphin fans, 3 in a row, baby. Go streaking with Fin's TV on Tuesday.
Who was number 1?
Fins up. Appreciate you guys.